We're back for the
We're
final
back.
time ever.
The
We will
last Raw
be,
ever.
yeah, last go home shows ever. We're putting them together, you son of a bitch. Last go home shows ever. Last Raws. Just wow, we did it. We did it. He says as he still has not finished writing WrestleMania, but it's fine. Uh,
We've done it.
we've done it. Like, subscribe, hype the video, comment, all that jazz. And we got a long episode of Raw, I think. So let's come in. Let's not come into it. Let's get into it. Do not come anywhere. All right. We opened the show with me coming out and saying we have had a breakthrough in the case of Randy's mystery attacker. Now Randy is on his way has to the arena as we speak. We then see on the Titantron uh, black SUV pull up. Randy gets out and starts walking to the ring. As he's walking to the ring, we see a chair go flying and it hits him in the face. We look into the ring and I tell security to get to the back now. They start running in. We get a shot of Randy again. He's down on the ground. The masked man walks in the frame. He starts going for a punt kick. He's about to hit it when Randy gets out of the way. Randy goes for an RKO. The masked man pushes Randy off. As Randy is pushed off, the man's mask comes off. He has his back facing Orton. Orton is just staring at him, waiting for him to turn around. He slowly turns his head, and we see him. The man who hasn't been seen in months. The masked attacker is Jey Uso. Randy's eyes get filled with rage. He's about to go on the attack when the security guards finally get to them and they pull Randy away from Jey. Jey is just standing there, not even moving, just watching Randy with a stone cold face. We finally get our mystery attacker confirmed. And this is a tag team title qualifier match for the ladder match at WrestleMania. Who is gonna make it? Angel Alberto or Angel and Berto or Kit Wilson and Elton Prince? And the winner is Pretty Deadly. Thank you very much. Clap, applause. Thank you, thank you. Pretty Deadly is going to WrestleMania. Fuck it. Uh, then in the back, Roxanne is seen in the Futuro Dorado locker room. Bailey asks her, "So, are you ready for tonight?" Again, I'm sorry for not being able to get the job done last week. You're fine. It wasn't fair of me to ask you to do that anyways. It was a kind of a dick move, and I'm sorry. Hey, that's really mature of you. I'm impressed. Maybe you can rub off on these girls next. Anyways, what's the plan for tonight? And more importantly, what's the plan for Mania? What? What do you mean, what's the plan for Mania? I mean, how are we going to make sure you walk out of there as champion? I'm going to get in there and beat them both. You guys can't be anywhere near the ring when that happens. When that bell rings, I need to beat those women on my own merits. I'm not going to take I'm not going to take the easy way out. Are you sure? We're here to help you. Yes, I'm sure. I'm somehow walking into WrestleMania as champion and still somehow the underdog. Really, Rhea and Julia have my number, and I'm going to shock the world. Bailey agrees, and the segment ends. We then get a video package for Tiffany going over the history of her and Bliss. It shows them last year going to Disneyland and training together, doing gymnastics, all the fun they had, leading to them capturing the titles at Elimination Chamber last year. Tiffany says this isn't just going to be about the title. It's a it's going to be about putting the past behind her, about moving on with her life. And at WrestleMania, she is going to become the new Women's United States Champion. Then we get a preview of WrestleMania. Uh, these men are all in the Intercontinental Championship match. Roddy is watching the match at ringside, scouting his opponents, all of which he's faced off with before for this exact title. And the only one of these men who bested him, Pete Dunne, pulls off the victory. Pete Dunne Pete Dunne wins. After which, he stares down Roddy and tells him that his time is up at WrestleMania. Time is up. My time is now. We cut to my office, and Jay is sitting in there. And I look at him and say, "Are you serious?" "Why, Jay? I know your history with Randy, but seriously? Look, I can't let you get away with this, but I know that no amount of punishment is going to change anything. So here's what we're going to do. You and Randy will clearly never get along, and having you two on the same brand was a mistake. So here's what's going to happen. At WrestleMania, it's going to be Jey Uso versus Randy Orton. Loser leaves Raw. And to make it interesting, there will be no rules. Unsanctioned. Good luck." Ha! I don't need luck, Goose. He's gonna need luck when I break my foot up his ass. And he walks away. Then we get the tag match. There are no excuses this week. Bianca and Jada pull up the victory clean and head to WrestleMania with all the momentum in the world. We then see the three tag teams that have qualified for the tag team ladder match backstage, and they are talking. Axiom tells them that no matter what happens, the Undisputed Era can't retain the championship. Alton agrees and says that if they can't win, they need the Undisputed Era to lose. This might be the only chance to stop them. Kaiser is about to agree when Gunther cuts him off and says that they don't need to worry about anyone but themselves and that they will win. We then get a Shinsuke Nakamura promo package saying that Undisputed Era didn't finish the job and he will still be in the Intercontinental Championship match at WrestleMania. And he's going to recapture that title. Uh, Roman is here and he cuts a promo saying, at first I only wanted to get my hands on Punk, but then this dumbass Mello drove a goddamn car to my front door, through my front door. Do you have any idea how much that cost me? Thousands of dollars. My daughter isn't gonna get her pony for her birthday like she wanted to. So congrats, Mello. You made a little girl cry. And I'm not gonna let you get away with it. So at WrestleMania, I'm stacking you both. Then I'm moving on to get back my WWE Championship. Bianca and Jada then celebrate their victory backstage. Bianca says, "This is it. We have all the momentum in the world. It's now or never. Are you ready to step up?" "Of course I am. This has been an insane run, and I'm not slowing down anytime soon." "All right then. The only thing left for us to do is get ready. But first, we need new gear. Matching gear." "Are you serious?" "Yeah. That is so awesome. I'm gonna need all your measurements so I can make them all." "All right, let's go get them." All right. Then we get an Obafemi promo package stating why he's gonna walk out of WrestleMania as new Intercontinental Champion. Nia Jax versus Lash Legend then occurs. After the match, Becky comes. Nia wins. Oops, Nia wins. Lol. After the match, Becky comes in and attacks Nia with a chair. Nia is taking the punishment and finally catches the chair as Becky swings it. She takes it and uses it against Becky. Becky gets pummeled and hits with two annihilators. Nia then taunts the crowd and points to the WrestleMania sign. Mello has a pre-filmed backstage segment. He says Roman and Punk are so different and yet so similar. They both abused Paul Heyman. They manipulate people to get what they want, and they're both idiots. And I finally realize what it is about them that makes me dislike them. I'm their victim. This summer, I was taken out of action by an egotistical maniac, Adam Cole. And now I see that they're also egotistical maniacs. They are my abusers. Just ask Paul Heyman about how he was treated by both men. Roman mentally abused him. Punk pulled him in harm's way in order to save himself. Me and Paul Heyman have a lot in common. And he is still in the hospital bed over a month over a month after Punk put him in harm's way. So at WrestleMania, I'm gonna put them down. And then out comes Adam Cole and the rest of the Undisputed Era. Cole says, "There's been a lot of talk recently about a demon, and I've had to reel my guys in. Congrats, Finn. You spooked them for a day." But then their leader told them exactly what they needed to hear. Why should I fear a man in some scary clown makeup? Finn, you can scare anyone else with this, but not me. No, I'm too smart for that. You see, at WrestleMania, when you spend 5 hours getting painted red and black, I'm gonna be preparing. I'm going to be getting ready, and that is gonna be the difference. That's why I'll win, and that's why I'll take over the entire wrestling world. And you, Finn, you're never going to hold a world title for more than a day. As he finishes that sentence, the lights go out, and we hear the cries of banshees start playing, and the Titantron turns on. There's a video package. We see a man from behind. The shot is just showing his feet walking down the street. I dropped my water bottle. Cole looks at the street and feels like it's familiar. The shot slowly pans up, and we see the back of the man's head. He stops walking and turns toward the camera and says, he turns towards the camera. It's Finn, and he says, "The thing about demons is that they can be anywhere at any time." Uh, Cole finally knows why it's so. He smiles. Cole finally knows why it's so familiar as the camera pans and shows that Finn Balor is at Adam Cole's house. Cole's eyes widen. He starts yelling, and we get some crazy footage. We get a shot of Cole sleeping in his bed with Finn in full demon attire just standing over him, watching. We then get taken to a dark area. We hear Cole talking. The camera moves. We see we're in the truck of an SUV that Cole is driving. The rest of the area is too. Then it cuts to Cole watching TV on his couch. Finn is standing behind Cole and it doesn't notice. Then it finally cuts to Finn saying, "Sleep with one eye open tonight, Cole. You never know where I'm going to show up." Cole is freaked out, and the Undisputed Era storm out of the ring. And we finally get to our final main event: Roxanne Perez versus Rhea Ripley. Futuro Dorado are ringside, again, making sure no one gets involved. Rhea is talking shit to Roxanne the entire time, calling her a coward, telling her she's a fraud of a champion. Towards the end, Rox has the upper hand. She looks like she's setting up for a pop rocks. When Julia's music hits, Futuro Dorado comes in and quickly gets ready to attack her. But unlike last time, Rox trusts them. She doesn't take her eyes off Rhea. She goes for the pop rocks. Julia marches toward the ring. Rox hits the pop rocks, covers, 1, 2, kick out. Stephanie and Lola rush in. Julia throws a single spinning back fist that connects with both of them on the chin. They go to the ground. Bayley rushes Julia. Julia ducks and kicks Bayley in the back of her knee. She then hits an arrivederci knee on the back of Bayley's skull. Rox is getting Rhea up for another pop rocks. Rhea powers out of it. She throws Rox up and over her head. Rox lands on her feet. She turns around. She gets hit with a headbutt and then immediately followed by a riptide. Cover. 1, 2, 3. Rhea Ripley pins Roxanne Perez. And as soon as the match is over, Julia enters the ring and goes for Rhea. They start brawling on the outside. On the outside. We see Futuro Dorado trying to get Roxanne up and get her out of there. Rox shakes her head and she tells them to leave. She rushes back into the ring. She's been embarrassed by both of these women. She wants to get some payback. Once she's in, she pulls Julia off of Rhea, grabbing her by the hair, laying punches into her gut. Then Rhea comes in and pulls rocks off of Julia. She lifts her up like it's nothing, and once she finally lets go, Rox turns around and lays in a massive slap. The crowd gasps and Rhea loses it. She goes full on attack mode on Rox. But before anything crazy can happen, Julia comes in from behind and hits her with a chair. Rhea gets down on one knee and is hit in the back of the head with an Arrivederci knee. Arrivederci knee. There you go. Rox rushes Julia. Julia ducks, hits her with a spinning heel kick, and gets her up for the Northern Lights bomb. Julia stands tall over both women as we end the show. Did Rhea and Roxanne make a mistake by seemingly overlooking Julia? Hmm.
Welcome to SmackDown. This is the go home show for WrestleMania. This will be the last SmackDown that is ever booked. Um, like, subscribe, comment down below. Stuff we said at the beginning of the video, do it again. With that said, let's get into the show. The show opens with Biggie in the ring with a table set up. Both Kevin Owens and AJ make their entrances, and AJ is the first to grab the mic. AJ tells Kevin, "It's been many years since we have shared a ring, and we are just 24 hours away from going toe to toe one more time." Now, in my opinion, we don't need to do this. I think this is more of a formality. We both understand that in 24 hours, once that bell rings, it's time for business. And I don't know how much you've been watching, but I am simply untouchable this year, Kevin. Kevin grabs the mic and says, "Yeah, I've heard that, but I need you to understand that I'm a dangerous man. If you look at how I started this year and how you started this year, you would think our roles would be reversed going into WrestleMania. But I haven't held gold in 8 months. I've been having to look over my shoulder each and every show for too many months now, so to say I'm hungry is an understatement. You have something that has my sole focus. So you may think you're untouchable, but in 24 hours you need to understand I am not going easy on you. I need that championship. You may want it, but I need it." Kevin then signs the contract. AJ picks up the mic again and says to Kevin, "I can appreciate the passion, but I don't want you to think I'm blinded by my success this year. I know how this year started for me. I was lost. I honestly thought my career was about to be over. Then Ethan Page helped me get back to my feet. I know we don't really see eye to eye anymore, but I can't deny what he did for my confidence. So I need you to understand that in the back of my mind is constantly this thought of all this being over. So yeah, I'm fairly confident in who I am, but there's still a desperate man underneath this cloak of armor. So what happens when a man who's starving comes across a man who is desperately willing to do anything to hold on to what he's got? I guess we find out our answer in 24 hours at the grandest stage of them all, WrestleMania. AJ then signs the contract, and we end the segment amicably. We then move on to the Fatal 4-Way to open the show between Montez Ford, Tama Tonga, Kofi Kingston, and Penta. Penta ends up picking up the victory. Um, Io speaks about the fatal four-way between her and the other former members of Damage Control. Io says that this has been a long time in the making, but only one member can stand tall, and she plans to be the only one. She plans to be the only member left on SmackDown after their match is done. Liv and Raquel are then seen walking around backstage when they get confronted by Zaruka. Zaruka say they want their shot at the tag title so they can have a shot at being on the WrestleMania card. Liv and Raquel have no problem with this, and they head down to the ring for their match. Zaruka versus Liv and Raquel for the women's tag titles. Liv and Raquel retain, solidifying their spot against both Jada and Bianca and Bayley and Lola at WrestleMania for those belts. Jade Cargill speaks about her match against Charlotte at WrestleMania. Jade says, "One more time, me and Charlotte face off when we get a definitive answer onto who is better." Now, I know she plans on me losing this title and leaving SmackDown, but I think I've started to love being here on SmackDown. I've been able to make a true name for myself and solidify myself as a top star here. So though surprisingly so I even though I have surprisingly started to respect Charlotte as a competitor, there is no way she beats me at WrestleMania. This year was just step one for me, and I plan on having a lot more success going forward on the SmackDown brand. Cody Rhodes is then speaking with Ricky Saints backstage, and Ricky thanks Cody for having his back last week. Cody says it was no problem. He has just one request. Solo and Jacob then walk into frame, and Solo tells Cody, "You better not ask for a title match because there's absolutely no way you jump the line ahead of Jacob." Cody just smiles and says, "What makes you think Jacob deserves a shot? If I'm not mistaken, the last time Ricky and him faced off, Jacob lost." Solo says, "We both know that Ricky took the easy way out in that match. But how about we have ourselves a little match here tonight? You see, I believe Jacob deserves a title shot for Mania, and even though you didn't say it, I know you want the title shot for yourself. So how about we have ourselves a little tag match? If me and Jacob win, then Jacob gets the title shot at Mania. If you and Ricky win, then you can get the title shot at Mania. How does that sound?" Cody then accepts the challenge. Solo just smiles and says, "Great, I'll see you down in the ring." And then head down to the ring. Cody and Ricky versus Solo and Jacob. Cody and Ricky pick up the win. Naomi is in Big E's office and she is demanding to be on the WrestleMania card. Big E says, "Well, the card is pretty full, so I don't know how I would get you on there." Naomi says, "Well, how about the women's title match?" Then Mercedes walks. That's when Mercedes walks in. Mercedes says, "Are you trying to sneak your way into my match at WrestleMania?" Naomi says, "Look, it's about time I take control of my career. I spent the past 2 years riding your coattails, and it's about time that I get mine." Mercedes says, "I cannot believe this." Biggie says, "You know what? I have the perfect idea. Naomi, since you want to be included in the women's title match, how about you prove you deserve it in a match against Mercedes tonight?" Mercedes seems furious at this thought and says, "There's no way I'm losing this title ahead of the biggest PLE of the year." Biggie says, "Don't worry, it's not going to be for the title, but if Naomi can beat you, then she'll be added to the match at WrestleMania, making it a fatal four-way." Mercedes then stops for a second and says, "A fatal four-way?" AJ Lee then walks into the room and waves at Mercedes. AJ says, "Oh, you thought you would try to seriously injure me and I wouldn't want a rematch for my belt?" Mercedes says, "This is all just so unfair," and storms out of the room and head towards the ring. We then have Naomi versus Mercedes. If Naomi wins, she makes it a fatal four-way at WrestleMania. Towards the end, Naomi is calling Mercedes up when Tamina comes down and distracts Naomi. Naomi and Tamina argue, which allows Mercedes to get up and lock Naomi into the bank statement after hitting her with a backstabber. Naomi then taps out as Tamina laughs from the outside, Mercedes solidifying it to just be a triple threat at WrestleMania between her, Cora, and AJ. Cora, Jade, and AJ Lee embrace backstage upon AJ's return. AJ informs Cora that she will be added to her match at WrestleMania for the Women's Championship. Cora tries to put on a nice face, but this obviously doesn't sit too well with her. Cora says, "Well, I was hoping to finally get my shot at beating Mercedes one-on-one, but I'm happy that you're getting the opportunity to get your revenge as well. Just understand, I'm going in there with the sole focus of walking out as women's champion, so don't expect me to go easy on you because we are friends." AJ says, "Cora, in this business, if you don't beat the crap out of your friends in that ring, then are you really friends?" Cora just laughs and they share a hug. Keith Lee is then seen speaking with Swerve Strickland about the upcoming match. Keith says, "Look, we may have not made it onto WrestleMania this year, but don't take this match for granted. You win this match, and Big E will see the star he has waiting on his roster, and for the waiting on his roster, and the opportunities for you next year will be endless." Swerve says, "Yeah, part of me is upset that I'm not on WrestleMania, but that just stacks the chips on my shoulders to be even better next year." Swerve thanks Keith Lee and heads down towards the ring. We then see Seth versus Sammy versus Drew versus Swerve. The four men put on a WrestleMania worthy main event with everyone hitting big moves and a few pins that almost get the job done. Towards the end, we see Swerve and Drew set up in opposite corners with Seth Rollins getting to his knees in the middle. Just as he gets to his knees, Swerve and Drew both charge in and nail a house call Claymore combo. Drew goes for the cover but gets pulled back by Swerve. Swerve tries the same. Drew pulls him off. Both men start brawling and drive one another out of the ring. Back in the ring, Seth is using the turnbuckle to help him get back to his feet. Just as he gets up, Sammy charges in and connects with the haluva kick. Seth just collapses back down to the mat. Sammy goes for the cover. 1, 2, 3. Drew and Swerve realize this way too late as Sammy picks up the win. to close out the final SmackDown of the year. That is SmackDown.